Solving nonlinear inequality, this time we have a fourth degree, 4x to the third minus x to the fourth less than or equal to 0. So the first step that I would like to do is I would just factor out x to the third. Before we do so, since we already have all the terms on the left hand side, I am going to call my function f of x equals to 4x to the third minus x to the fourth. When you see a problem where there are some terms on the left side and then an inequality and then some terms on the right hand side, make sure you have all the terms on one side. Usually I will just put all the terms on the left hand side, and then I will call that my function, and then you will have to set the function equals to 0. I know we are dealing with inequality, but we will deal with a 0 first because we need to solve the equation to figure out the key numbers. 4x to the third minus x to the fourth equals to 0. Now we factor our GCF, greatest common factor, which is x to the third, and then you have 4 minus x equals to 0. And then using zero product property, let's solve for x. So we have x to the third equals to 0. We have 4 minus x. Actually, we don't need the parenthesis anymore. X equals to 0. So this is x equals to 0, and this is x equals to 4. And they are my key numbers. So these are my key numbers. Key numbers. And what else? You draw a number line, place the key numbers on the number line. So let's draw a number line. And then here is a 0, here is a 4. So we have one line, two numbers that divide the number line into 3 pieces. The first piece is from negative infinity to 0, and then from 0 to positive 4, and then from 4 to positive infinity. So these are my test intervals. So let's place them right here. Negative infinity to 0, and then from 0 to 4, and then from 4 to positive infinity, and then here is the test value. So for the test value, I will pick something simple. So from negative infinity to 0, yes, you can pick negative 105, but when you plug it into the function, you have to deal with big numbers. I will just pick something easy like a negative 1. This I will just pick a 1, and then this I will pick a 5. Plug it into the function to make sure that it's less than equal to 0, y less than or equal to, because the given problem is less than or equal to 0. So you have the function less than or equal to 0 because I already let everything on the left hand side equals to my function. Okay, so let's perform the function evaluation. F of negative 1, f of 1, and f of 5. F of negative 1, 4 times negative 1 to the third. Let's make that look like a 3. Minus negative 1 to the fourth. And then this is 4 times 1 to the third minus 1 to the fourth. 4 minus 1 is equals to 3. And then this is 4 times 5 to the third minus 5 to the fourth power. That one is negative 125. The first one is negative 4 minus 1 equals to negative 5. Which test interval is the solution? The answer can be found here. You are looking for less than or equal to 0. Now, which of these is less than or equal to 0? We have a negative 5. We have a negative 125. So this is less than or equal to 0. This is less than or equal to 0. Therefore, these two are the intervals that I am looking for. So we call that the solution set. Solution sets. Look, this is from 4 to infinity. This is an interval, not an individual value. There are infinitely many numbers in this interval. So that's why you will have to call this a solution set, not an individual solution. And then you draw the number line again. 0, 4, 4 to positive infinity. So I will be using this. Goes to all the way to positive infinity, and then from 0 all the way to negative infinity. Should I use open circle or a solid circle? The answer is you should use a solid circle. Why? Because the given inequality is less than or equal to, there is an equal, so you use a solid circle. When there is no equal, then you use an open circle. Solid circle means it is okay to let x equals to 0. So for example, this includes 0, right? When x is equals to 0, we have 0 less than or equal to 0. So solid circle means it is okay to include that number. And then for the interval, we have to modify the intervals that we wrote a little bit. So this is from negative infinity to 0. Look, square bracket. That means including 0. And then the textbook, they use a union. Union means or. And then from 4 all the way to positive infinity. 4 is on a solid circle. 4 is on a square bracket as well, because it is okay to let x equals to 4. And then what else do we have to write? You can put this in inequality. So x less than or equal to 0, x greater than or equal to 4, depending on what the textbook is looking for. In my class, I always ask students to do all of them. The number line, the interval, and the inequality. And then let's see, what else do I have to say? Okay, yeah, the union. What is the union mean? The union means or. This symbol, union, means or. What is or mean? Or means when you select an x value, the x value is either in this interval or in this interval. It's either in one of the interval. When you select one x value, plug it into the inequality. That x value must be either from this interval or this interval. If you select an x value between 0 and 4, that x value is not going to satisfy the inequality. And there is another what if. What if at the very beginning I gave you a less than here? I gave you a less than. If that is a less than, then this is an open circle, parenthesis, and no equal at the end. If I give you an less than only. Alright, so that is the end of this lesson. With all that said, I hope you guys are learning effectively from my video. Keep subscribing for more lessons. As always, I will meet you all in another video.